Hello, wonderful universe. It's Jennifer here at Eureka Astrology and Healing, and today we're going to be talking about the Libra new moon. The Libra new moon is going to be September 25th, 2022 at 4:54 p.m. Central Standard Time. So let's get into some astro notables. So before we get into all the aspects, I like to just give a little bit of a broad picture of what's been happening before and after. As I always say, it's a snapshot, the new moon and the full moon, and this is just a snapshot. But it's really also a kickstart of energy for each season, the new moon especially, so the Libra season. So first things first, and I've brought it up in several of the last videos, but we got to make note of it still, is that the planets are mostly retrograde right now, and including now Mercury. Mercury has gone retrograde September 23rd officially, so it is now added into the pile of planets that are retrograde. And so the only two that are direct right now are Venus and Mars is slowing down because it's about to go retrograde at the end of October as well. So even Mars is kind of it's going, but it's not running as fast as it could, so to speak. So again, what does this mean for us all? Thinking about it, reassessing things. If you want to break it down planet to planet, Mercury rethinking things, right? Literally rethinking, redoing things, especially dealing with paperwork potentially. Jupiter, rethinking how we expand and also how we find joy and what we want to do in that outward motion in general because it's so expansive. Saturn, rethinking our responsibility. Uranus, I would say that's a hard one to say. It's not rethinking how you're going to radically change. It could be, but often it brings a change radically on its own, but you could actually be thinking how you may want to actually shift in a positive and radical way that you have not thought of yet. And then Neptune, rethinking the dream, right? Rethinking the vision, the art, the creation. Pluto, rethinking the subconscious, rethinking the things that have happened in the past and maybe how you can work with them moving forward, healing them, going into the future. So a lot of re's happening. Also, some of the asteroids are also retrograde too. So I'm not going to even go into that, but it's just a lot of going in and reassessing. And like I said, Mercury's just gone retrograde, and that's going to be here for a couple of weeks. So the next thing is that the last few full and new moons have been largely of the earth element and the fire element. We are now shifting into still a lot of earth, but it's going to have equal parts of air now. Air has been not so strong in the last few months, and it is picking up speed. And so we're going to have a lot more communication, a lot more information coming in. Just wanting to connect with people, and we might in some ways, even though things are kind of going inward, we're still kind of being asked to do a lot at the same time. And so I feel like things could feel frustrating a little bit because you're getting all this information, people want to hang out with you, connect with you, do these things, and yet we feel like we need to be redoing some of the stuff before we actually go forward with the stuff. So just kind of be on the lookout for that feeling. And what I want to say for my nature notable here, I'm going to add this because I usually when I'm out here, I notice something every time I'm out here. This time I sat down and I didn't really pay attention quickly, and I saw an anthill with a bunch of ants who developed wings, and so I moved. And then I moved again, and I realized there are swarms and swarms and swarms of ants with wings coming out right now, different sizes, different kinds. And so that makes me think of the Mars in Gemini, just a lot of going, and also the energy in Virgo, which Mercury will be in Virgo with Venus, just like, we got to get this work done, we got to pull things together, we got to get going, we got to get going, we got to do this stuff. That's what it reminds me of. Action, but with air, right? They're actually flying. They're, not all ants fly, or they only do it at a certain time, and they're getting prepared for the winter and a new phase. And we are shifting into a new phase. We're going to be, we just had the equinox, so we're shifting into equal day, equal light. And that brings me into the theme of not everything is black and white. And why I say this is, I looked at a few different things for information. One of them being the Raven Calder is what he calls it in his moon phase astrology book, the new moon for Libra. And he calls it the white night moon. And he writes some really beautiful things about it. And what I took away from it is that the white knight is young and a little naive, right? And we're also at 2 degrees of Libra out of 30 degrees. That's young and new too. So it's the early phases of Libra. And so there's this innocence and this excitement but not so much perspective, and things are being seen in black and white. And the white knight has good intentions, is working from the heart, and so like we may be working from the heart and we want to save things or help people, or people are helping us right at this time, but try not to see everything in black and white. Libra itself is not a black and white sign. You know, as it matures, it sees things in grays and shades and shades and shades of gray, and weighs things out, and it's not so hard and fast. But in its youth, as the white knight is, it's a little bit quick to say good or bad. And so on this moon, try not to, if things come to you that you feel like you need to weigh in your scales, or if there's a situation that needs justice especially, don't look at it so black and white. Maybe someone does need to be saved. Maybe they don't. Maybe it's not what you really know. And with the Mars and Gemini, there could be some information that maybe is not true. However, on this day particularly, it is being trined, the Mars and Gemini, trined by Saturn in Aquarius. And I feel like even though it's retrograde, it's bringing the truth in. Aquarius likes to tell it like it is. It wants the truth, and it's telling Mars like, hey, this is the facts. This is the truth. If you're going to talk about it, talk about the truth and not the fluff and just pulling everything in. Also cut back on what you're pulling in for this little moment. It's not going to last forever though, because Mars continues to move, but it's a nice addition to it for the moment, because Mars otherwise, like I said, maybe spewing lies, maybe spreading gossip and rumors, and the Saturn Aquarius is like, let's pull it back. And so on that day, you know, try to pull it back as well, or try and listen for the truth between people's like lengthy explanations, you know, things of that nature, because in there's going to be some truth, and you need to hear it for yourself so you have your own sovereignty in any situation. And so let's think about what else we've got going here as well, what brings in that young and fresh, as I said, that 2 degrees. I also looked at the Sabian symbol for this, and I'm not going to go into, you know, great length about it, but what I did find is that the key term was threshold, and I liked that, and I thought about that for a bit. And it was talking about we're on the threshold of greatness, that degrees of threshold of greatness, right? And so the white knight's trying to bring in justice. So I felt like, are we on this threshold of some justice for someone? Hopefully. And hopefully we don't look at it in black and white. We can kind of dial it back and bring forth the truth, and the justice and maybe the lies are, you know, brought out a little bit more on this day or around this day. And just, you know, really finding facts as facts. And then there's also some nice things too, and where this is where I see the whole black and white, because with, I forgot to say this, the sun and the moon are opposed by Jupiter. So again, the scale is like, there's a pulling, like, is it balanced? I don't know. The sun and the moon in Libra, right? We want balance, we want connection, we want beauty, we want to relate, and we're thinking about the other person. And then Jupiter in Aries, it's not quite as feisty because it's retrograde, so it's rethinking things, but it's still like, what do I want? What do I need for myself? Not the relationship, the self. And really, hopefully, what you can do positively is go, what do I need for myself in the relationship positively, and then also see where there can be balance. Not go, I need this, that, the other, and forget the relationship. So don't see things black and white when you're working with yourself and others. Try to find the in-between so the scales don't tip one way or the other, because humans tend to need relationships. It's good for them developmentally. And then the other black and white, or the pull in the chart, is that Mercury and Venus are conjunct in Virgo, and then there's an opposition of Neptune. So again, 2 planets thinking, desiring how to just cut things out that don't work, like cut out the fluff, cut out the things that aren't helping the structure stay strong, like, and it's getting down to the details, and it's loving it, right? We're working things out and like just editing things out so that you can have something stronger, because Pluto is pulling that in and going, you're editing for the foundation that's going to be set for a long time. And again, you're not really building it, but you're just seeing what you need to cut out of it. But at the same time, with the opposition of Neptune and Pisces, and it too is retrograde, it's thinking about the dream. It's like, don't forget about the dream and what you really want, like what's really inspiring you and moving you towards this greater vision. And so we're reassessing that. Hopefully we can cut out parts of the vision that are not going to help support the structure. That's the positive aspect. The other part is the vision may say, this is the best thing ever, do this and it's going to work out, and don't you worry about the structure, don't you worry about the details, just make it happen, it's okay, it'll all work out, which usually it can and does, but just be on the lookout for illusion and delusion once again with what you want, and hopefully the Virgo energy can help you cut some stuff back, and then hopefully the Neptune can bring in the bit of play and just like loosening up and freeing up that energy. And I really think that is kind of just like there's a lot of push and pull, but it can be really, really positive day, I think, for growing things and seeing exactly how you're going to do it, as long as you don't fall into that black and white trap. Let's see here. Overall, I would like to think that we are going to work with the information in a positive way. Like I said, don't start fights that you don't need to start. Don't say things that you don't need to say. Take a moment, take a pause, and try to see the truth in the situation and try and find the balance. And with that too, it's Libra. So on a larger scale, if you just want to celebrate the energy of Libra and not think about all these details, what can you do? Make some art, hang out with some friends, go see a movie, be with a partner if you like. It doesn't have to be a partner, but it can be a friend. Just enjoy yourself and enjoy the finities of the world, because Libra is ruled by Venus. And even though Venus is in Virgo right now, it's still saying enjoy, because as you can see here, it depends on where you live. I'm in the Northern Hemisphere, I'm in Wisconsin. Things are still in bloom, but things are also going away. As I said, the ants are swarming, everything's trying to get ready. Nuts are harvesting, squirrels are harvesting nuts, nuts are harvesting nuts. That'd be something to see. There's a sense of franticness, right? About it, we got to wrap this up. We got to wrap this up because we're going to have to go in and rest, really, really rest. And so, go out and play and harvest what you need to harvest, because things are about to get cold and slow. With that, I'm Jennifer at Eureka Astrology and Healing. I hope you liked my video. Check out my website, Eureka Astrology and Healing. I do herbal consultations, astrology consultations, tarot readings. I also teach classes, not online yet, in person, but I'm getting there. I hope you liked the video, and I hope you liked the nature. Hopefully you could hear everything all right. Have a great day.